Hey, Sylvia.
Hello. Yeah,
Hey.
yeah. Hello, my name is Kerry Mussington from the Mind Over Matter Project, also known as the Mom Project, and I'm here to raise awareness. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
I'm Jean-Louis Delhomme. Everyone knows me as JD. Simple way to remember is Jack Daniels. Can't ever forget that one, can you? And I am the co-founder of JDA Fitness. Um, yeah, and I'm here to support and help people in fitness. There we go. And help people through mental conquests or, challenges. And especially in this current climate, I think it's quite poignant what we're doing, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I think it is. It is. I mean, how we got together in the first place. I'm a member of your page and what you do, and I'm also all very supportive in what you do, and equally, you're very supportive of what I do. I mean, I think support is vital.
Sport is very vital, and I think, do you know something? With this year, what has brought us is been brought a lot of sadness, a lot of negative stuff. But you know what? I believe in life wherever there's a negative, there's a positive.
Because I think the more that you do help others, there is a high expectation. When you're sharing place, when you're sharing space, or you're sharing testimonials, you're sharing private information with each other, and I think it's not about, oh, it's a secret zone. It's more of a, I need you to relate. So when we talk, it's more relatable. So I guess that's why we joined on, because our stories are quite relatable, and therefore what we're doing in the community is trying to raise awareness. Now, at the end of the day, that can come with some backlash. Sometimes people can ridicule you just because you are out there. You're putting your voice out there. And I will say, not everybody does this. Not a lot of people do the lives. They just might put messages in which you can read, or poetry or something like that, but not everybody does the lives. So when you are putting yourself out on a live, you are up for scrutiny. People will look at you, and they'll look at you and they'll judge you, but they don't know your story. That's the answers to life, about respect and also supporting one another. And if there is no support, this is where the depression comes into it, right? To feel useful, to feel wanted, to feel a part, just even if it's for a second.
What I've been doing is knowing self-worth, and this is what I've been trying to teach people: self-love and self-worth, and knowing you're not going to always please everyone, but if you know your conscience and you know in your heart that what you're doing, and you're humble, that you know what you're doing is for the right reason, not to give. You're giving not to get anything back. But
Yeah.
if you're going to go in your mind that you're doing this to get something back, then you're doomed from the start, because all you're going to do is go through disappointment all the time. Because at the end of the day, it's like, you've got a big heart, I've got a big heart, but people with a big heart, they're always the people to get hurt the most, because they feel, well, because I'm that way, everyone else should be that way, but not everybody else is that way. So it's a case, it's accepting that. But as long as you know, and people would only come, and then when it comes to friendship, the people don't understand what friendship is. Some people will only come in your life so they could use you, use what you have. And once you fulfill that purpose, then there's no need for you. Then they just chuck you away. There's no need for you. And then they forget what you've done for them. And it's so easy. If you're doing it because you want to get something back, this is where you can get really, really depressing. Because you know what, I've done this for you, I've done that for you, and what have you done for me? You would never win. Psychologically, it'll never go up.
Is it get something back, or is it because you need to make that difference because you knew how they were feeling, and when they were feeling pretty rough and down and out, they had nothing? So is it to get something back, or is it because you feel that you don't want them to end their life? You see, that's the difference for me. I help people to the point where when I'm picking them up when they've got nothing, they've got no one's been supportive, no one around, and no one to help them out of their situation. So I'm picked them up that way. That's how people come to me, because obviously I speak openly about my own ordeals, and I guess that's more warming to people. But you know, I think people are drawn to me, and then I help them try to resolve their problem. Then look at the word expectation. What is trust? Expectation. It is, isn't it? I'll give you my trust if you can keep me safe. I'll give you my trust if you could prove yourself. That's what I look at the word trust, because I think what we should be doing is giving someone respect, and then it grows into that word, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah. Can you actually ever trust someone? Can you really trust them?
I think trust, you should be able to be, without being gullible, you should always give the people benefit of the doubt. Don't start with trust. But once trust is broken once and it doesn't get repaired, they only have one chance of it. How I look at it, I do it. I help people because it makes me feel good. I do it for me. I do it for them indirectly, but mainly I do it for me because it makes me feel good. Yeah, and I feel from the heart. You've done it with a clear conscience. You've done your best. And then the old saying, you could bring a horse to the water, but you can't make the horse drink. Yeah. Right? You could give everything you got, knowing you've done everything you possibly can within your power to help that person. You save that person, and then again it goes back to that person. Once they found that you're no longer in use for them, you served your purpose, then they move on. You know, in life I've learned, and especially at the age that I'm at, you bring negative people into your life, they will drag you down. And at some point, you need to learn to let go for your own health and insanity. You need to let them go and just keep the positive people in your life. Positive people, positive things brings you up. And I think that's the key, and that's the mindset, you know, because as long as you've got the right people around you, then that's all that matters.
It's very hard to find the right people around you, because some people just not at the same level, some people just in a different world, some people got different issues, etc. So it is quite difficult, and I guess that's why there is a lot of mental health out there. And I realise this because at the end of the day, people are suffering from depression because they don't want to speak to, nobody understands them, you know, and I think, and some people just have worry and they need someone to speak to, and sometimes somebody is just not there, and then it leads to a tragedy. The way it is what's going on in the world, I think people are turning on each other left, right and centre, and some people don't know what to do, some people can't think for themselves, some people follow fashion, some people persecute other people because of their freedom of their mind and what they think is best. And I think this is, if you look at the inside of the world, people are suffering from depression badly. Jay, have you seen an increase on your platform?
I've seen an increase, and I think this is quite poignant. I've seen, and this is the message I'm trying to put out, it's a mindset. I've seen an increase of people feeling depressed. I've seen an increase of people feeling isolated, and I've seen that. But to me, maybe it's because the way I look at things differently to most people. I don't see things as black and white, and I'll give you two examples of the way I see things in the way I think in my journey, what I've learned with my PTSD, I've changed my priorities in life and what's more important. And people dwell too much on the negativity in life, but they don't realise how lucky they are. In certain parts, don't realise how lucky they are. And I'll give you two examples. One, and this sounds funny, the issue about the toilet roll back in the first lockdown. Everyone's going out for toilet rolls worried about wiping their arse. But to me, what's more important is your immune system during this current time. Instead of, I went to supermarket and all the toilet rolls were empty, but all the multivitamins and the stuff for the immune system was all full. I mean, where's the common sense in that? you know, you need to look after yourself, and then it's that's one mindset I don't get. But to me, this is what I feel in this day and age. And I'm ex-military. I've been places. I've seen so I've seen real suffering. I've seen real poverty in this country. And then I think this is what I think in this country, we don't know how lucky we are. And I think this is what I'm trying to portray. We go through depression, we go through loneliness, we go through all these things, but it's trying to set a person's mindset. Look, be grateful for what you have. Yeah?
Yeah.
We're alive. We're breathing. People
Yeah.
who've lost their life, there's a lot worse people than us. Yeah?
So, you know, I think that's another thing as well. Planning. I said this today to an individual. If you don't plan, there's no vision, so you can't see your tomorrows quite clearly. So that's why they're muddled in your head. You've got to have a plan, you know, of what you're going to do throughout the days, and just try. You know, it's no point in going back to bed, sitting in the bed and watching the TV all day, every single day. I've had that life, Jay. I've had that life. Now I wake up in the morning, I'm driven, I want to do something, but sometimes it's hard to do it alone. And that's my hesitation. Sometimes it's hard to do it alone. That's why I invited you tonight. It's just courtesy, respect, compassion, understanding, most certainly listening skills are needed amongst the community, and we need to do more of listening and seeing where we can help and support each other. So one day at a time,